Well, hello, good evening and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Mafinda, aka Tony. Now the sharp-eyed amongst you might see that my face on this side is a little bit swollen. But thanks to the wonders of amoxicillin, boys and girls, it's a lot less than it was yesterday. Yesterday it was massive. It was out here. I look like the Victorian freak John Medic, aka the Elephant Man. Even more so than I usually do. But yeah, I've got some sort of abscess or infection on this side of my face, and it was like from here, you just about feel it there, all the way down there. Anyway, I've been on the antibiotics for the last, it's affecting my speech as well, which isn't good. But I've been on the antibiotics now for just over 24 hours. And it's helping a lot. A little aside for you there, boys and girls. Anyway, let's crack on. So that was by way of apology for my ugliness. I'm usually stunningly attractive, me, but at the moment, I'm not so much so. So today, in go these, which is the cucumber, the tomatoes, and some bell and horned peppers, sweet peppers. We're not doing any chili peppers this year, because essentially we don't eat chili, as a rule. But the tomatoes, yes. So they're going to be going into here. So I'm going to moisten the soil first, the growing medium. Add in some amendments. And a watering system, or an assistant to the watering system. And away we go. Okay, so first things first. Horrible this. I got that. Picked up another one. This is the third of the year. So I'm going to look after this one. I'll keep it locked up, I think. Because they keep going missing, as you know. But I'm going to take this male connector, fit it up to the tap at the top, and then make the preparations for getting the watering done. Because that bed in there, both beds are going to be filled with crop. But it's as dry as a bone, because it's been inside the polytunnel, unwatered, for months. That's not been watered since probably September last year. So it's as dry as a bone inside the polytunnels. And those of you guys with polytunnels will know what I'm talking about when I speak about this, because that's the problem. They're great for your hot temperature loving plants, but you've got to keep them watered. And it's more or less a daily occurrence, the watering. You got to keep on top of that. But first of all, because it's so dry, I'm going to saturate the water. Okay, saturate the beds with plenty of water. So we're all hooked up to our water supply, and with this one you just push it forward. Now that's on a jet though, we don't want a jet. I'm going to put the soaker on, I think, for that. Soaker. And then extend it forwards. That's just the air pockets coming out of the hose there. But we'll give it a really good deep soaking. The whole growing space. Again, this is all tannalized wood that we made this with. So leave me to that. I'll make sure everything's got a good soaking. Now, hopefully you can see that the soil's been well moistened. It took about 25 minutes actually to dampen all the soil off, because it's bone dry. And what I had to do is get the nozzle on the hose pipe on shower and get it into the ground like that. Now I've only gone all the way along the sort of 18-inch area where we're going to be planting, which is around here. I've just sprinkled some bloodfish and bone in, and I'm going to give it a bit of a mix round now in the bloodfish and bone. Okay, before the plant goes in. But as you can see, it's damp all the way down now. So the plant is going to go in there. I've trimmed off the sort of dead starter leaves at the bottom, the first true leaves, first starter leaves, and I'm also going to trim that one off just with these scissors. Just carefully snip and snip the brown ones off like that, and that clears away the lower foliage, so that these roots can come through. You can see these little nodules on the base there of the cucumber. Roots will actually come out from there. They're not like the tomato plant, whereas the tomato plant, the little fine hairs that you see on the tomato stems, they'll actually become roots, and all of them all the way up. But with these cucumbers, it doesn't work like that. But these will, as you can see down there, hopefully, come out. And so if you bury those up until just before the knuckle there, which I'm going to do now, then they will form roots and take up the nutrition. Okay, so that's been taken out of its pot and it's in the hole, and you can see there that the level of the soil will be around about where that knuckle is, and that's what we want. So I'm going to backfill it with the soil, the re-moisturised compost rather, into there. A little bit of bloodfish and bone, and this is just to get them started up. Give them a bit of it, give them a drink and a bit of a feed, and the job's a good one. I'm just going to check out what's going on outside on the lane there. Sounds like violence is occurring. So me and Postman Dave have just chased off. Well, we didn't actually see him, but we shouted at them because they'd thrown a brick or something over here. Could hear him arguing and shouting on the lane up at the top there. Then the next thing, something came flying over and it's gone through one of greenhouses. I'll show you. It's on Mixstar. I'm going to give you a call now, Mick, just a sec. Yeah, so by the time me and Dave gave him a shout and started telling him to be quiet and what have you, the next thing, the brick comes flying over. In fact, they'd launched the brick, and this is what I could hear. That they chucked a brick over, and it smashed that window on that greenhouse, Mick's greenhouse there. It's gone through to there. It must have gone through there, and then out there. By the time we got there, they'd scarpered. They'd gone up there. You know, we were yelling at them and that after they'd done that. You know what I mean? But they'd done one. You can't catch them. I don't even know how old they were. They were just up on this lane here, mate. So it's took them two out. Took that one out. In fact, it's took three out. It's took that top one out. I'm not sure whether that was creeping behind it or what, mate, but it's the swines. Anyway, we've told Ken. I'm going to give you a ring now, mate. Yeah, I've just spoken to Mick there, Magical Michael Derbyshire from Old Mac Derby's farm. And I said, well, Ken's already spoken to him, but yeah, we should have got a caught him. Too late though, by the time we got it, they'd already done it. But Dave from over at back, Big Dave, the postman, he was walking up. Because they'd been shouting over the back down the valley end, over Hay Hall. Anyway. So there you go. Not very nice at all, that is it? Can't have nothing, can you? Anyway guys, back to it. Back to the cukes. Okay, so now that's in, I'm going to give it a gentle watering in around the base. And that should help to seep the growing medium, the compost, in and around the root system of that plant. Now inside these polytunnels, the temperatures do get quite high. You can hit the 40s easily in summertime. And so we have the ventilation systems. We have the window there that opens, and that one opens there as well. You can also open the door, and it lets the pollinators in, but it also lets the hot air out. And because it's warm in the polytunnels, you do tend to get evaporation, quite a lot of evaporation. So the moisture from the soil evaporates quite quickly. So you need to get the water and potential liquid feeds down below soil level and around the root system so the plant can take them in. And to do that, we've got these old pop bottles, old plastic pop bottles, 2 litre, with the bases cut off and little holes, if you can see them, the little holes knocking around, which allows the water to seep out when you fill them and moisturise around the root system and feed the root system. And we've been doing this now for about the last 5 years with good results from it. So I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see there, in between the 2 plants, I'm just going to put my hand in and make a small insertion into the soil, like that. Okay, just like that. Just like that. Get some bloodfish and bone. Bloodfish and bone meal, that is. And sprinkle that around the area of planting. Give it a little spray. Dig it out again. And then pop him. No, pop him. That was silly because that is my watering location. Them kids have unsettled me there. They made me a bit naughty and a little bit confused. Anyway, that goes in there like that. And then with the holes that we've made into that, there's a hole as well actually in the lid. Oh, there should be. There's not on them too. Anyway, you put 2 holes in the lid as well. All I use is sort of like 4mm metal drill bit, and then drill the holes into the plastic with that. You put about 12 or 14 in that goes into the soil, and then you top it up with water, and then the water seeps out underground and liquefies your root system. Now, by nature, the cucumber plant is a climber and a spreader. Spreads its wings. And so this is why we've got the trellis at the back. There's a trellis that I've made there with the canes, and hopefully they're going to climb up there. But to give them a clue as to which direction, because I want them to go vertically rather than to go outwards, to go horizontally. So to give them a clue, we're just tying them on with some tape. This is a reusable sort of horticultural tape, and it's a little bit like Velcro. And what you do with that is you cut off a strip of about 4 to 6 inches, cut it down into 3, and then you can use it to tape your stems in place and let them run up the canes. I'll show you. So loosely, that's just tied on there, and as it grows, probably about every sort of 12 inches or so that it grows, I'll tape it on again, and then it'll go up that way. You'll get side shoots coming off from that, which I'll try and tie in, or even trim down and prune, so that I'm only getting like 1 or 2 growing stems going up there, and so we don't fill the entire trellis and overcrowd the trellis. Sometimes you've got to be a bit cruel to be kind, but as you can see, they're tied on. So as I say, they should climb up there now. If you haven't got the tape, the horticultural tape, which I've misplaced myself, it's here. If you haven't got any of that, you can obviously use these. These are like little bits of wire, plasticated wire, and you can use those for tomatoes, to tie your tomatoes onto the canes as they go up. Similar principle to that. So yeah, either the tape or the wire, but do them loose. Don't do them too tightly. Do them enough so that it holds on and it grips the stem, but not overly tight, because the stems will get fatter as the plant matures, it'll get fatter. And you don't want to strangulate your growing stems as they're going up there. You don't want them too tight. You end up cutting them, to weaken them. And with the beauty of the tape is that you can always untape it and retape it. And if you get a long enough tape, you can get stems like that. And if you get a stem like that, you've got a good one. Okay, so as I say, you need to get the moisture underground around the roots so that the roots can, one, seek it out, and two, it doesn't dry out as quickly as if it was watered on the surface. If you get it below ground level, it tends to hold the moisture better, your growing medium. So so that's what we're going to be doing. Yeah. So these pop bottles are then filled with water. You can already see there's a jet coming out. But underground there's also other jets that are seeping into the soil around the base of that little plant. Yeah. And it just seeps down into the soil. And if it requires more, it takes more. Now I put those pots, which luckily are a perfect size to fit into there. They're like 3.5-inch pots, I think, that the actual cucumber was grown in, the seedling was grown in. And what that does is any bumblebees or beneficial insects that come in here don't tend to fall down into the base where the water is and drown. And as I say, as the plant requires more, it takes more. It pulls more out. At the moment, the soil's pretty sodden, so it doesn't need it. But it'll seep down over the evening and get into the soil and be absorbed, hopefully, by the roots of the plant as it grows. But I'm going to go all the way across there now and just top them up. And then that's it for that. That's it for the cukes. For a couple of days at least. Okay. That's it from a fairly eventful day down here. Well, afternoon. I've only been down for a couple of hours. In Eden. Take care of yourselves and each other. Have a wonderful evening. Saturday tonight. Don't get too drunk. You're up for the plots in the morning. I rang Mick before, spoke to him, and he said, I said, are you coming down tomorrow? Are you on the plots tomorrow? He said, yeah. He said, I'm definitely on the plots. He said, I've got 2 panes of glass to replace. Well, that's the attitude you've got to have. You've got to be able, really, to cope with these little life's little incidents, little setbacks, and don't let it get you down. Don't let the bar stewards grind you down. You just got to crack on. Keep growing with your heads down, as they say. It was Magic Mick that bought me that sign. It's a cracker. It was one of the sayings, one of his sayings of old, that. Keep growing with your heads down. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, bye-bye. Have a good one. Toodle pip.